Polyphia are an American rock band from Dallas, Texas. Known for conjuring up their own blend of progressive metal and math rock, the guitar-led instrumental quartet continue to innovate by integrating trap beats, electronica, and guest vocalists into their sonic universe. You're tuned in to Roots to Grooves. Welcome back, everybody.
What's up? What's up? Jesse Quigley.
This is Jay Purcell.
Another episode of Roots to Grooves at your service.
At your service, yeah. This week we're talking about Polyphia.
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 That's what I was saying, but I think it is Polyphia.
Okay.
Based on what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Around the internet.
Yeah.
Chia.
Four-piece group originally from Dallas, Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty cool music. I mean, what would you say it is? You hadn't heard about this band until we brought it up this week, yeah?
Never, yeah. You messaged it to me and I was like, cool name. Never heard of them. So
I think they made up that name too. I don't think it's a word.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Oh, there you go. I didn't find how they came up with their name, but I guess it's sort of it describes a sort of sound, at least. to me. Polyphia.
Yeah, I think there is some kind of word polytechnics or something, polyrhythm.
Because like polyrhythmic,
right?
Is kind of, it's probably not how they came up with their name, but they have a lot of polyrhythms in their music.
Yeah, totally.
And stuff like that. So
I mean, what would you say? I mean, it's basically progressive metal.
Yeah.
Or progressive rock. You could say math rock if you've heard that term.
Yeah, math rock.
I don't think they would describe themselves as math rock, but
no,
metal or progressive.
Yeah, there was this word that has got used a lot, a genre called djent.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I think it's spelled DJENT, if I'm right.
Ooh.
I never heard of it before until I started looking into this band, and it's like a subgenre of metal. They describe it, its distinctive sound is a high gain, distorted, palm muted, low pitched guitar sound.
Nice, yeah.
The name djent is an onomatopoeia of this sound.
Oh, nice. Bring some onomatopoeia early in the episode tonight. I dig that.
Yeah. And that's how they have been described. And I've also heard a couple of their members describe that genre themselves when they were describing their music.
I hadn't heard that. Very astute research by Jay Purcell tonight.
I try.
Very good.
We'll see how far
Tries
I get on this
and
episode.
he succeeds. Yeah. So it's really cool about this. I heard it from my brother.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know who they were until my brother told me about them. My brother Gabe Quigley.
Drummer as well, right?
Yeah, he's the best drummer I know.
Yeah.
Sick. So he's super into this kind of rhythmic type compositions, kind of progressive type drums. A lot of different stuff going on. Super rhythmic, super nuanced, and with a lot of intention. Not just your Ringo Starr.
Yeah. 4 to the floor.
Yeah. So he, super dynamic drums. So he kind of falls into the music like this, and so he told me about him, and I've been listening. I've come across them for the past couple of years. Okay. He probably told me about them a couple of years ago or so.
Okay.
And yeah, so he was telling me about him. It's I'm kind of reading a text that he was sending me about what he likes about the production, and he says, it's a cool blend of electronic and acoustic drums, hip hop influence, metal influences, and you can definitely hear that probably in that first track that we played.
Yeah,
that's their most popular track on Spotify, at least with like 20 million views, so it's killing it.
Goat is the name of that track.
Yeah, their latest album, which I think was 2017.
Yeah.
I pull that up real quick, like 2018.
Sweet. Yeah.
New Levels, New Devils.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I would say start with this record if you want to listen to this band. That's probably my favorite record out of their discography. Okay. Just throwing that out there. Cool album art too. These guys have cool visuals all the way around.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at any of their videos, but how are their videos looking? Are they
cool, psychedelic, kind of trippy. So
Yeah.
I feel like their music is a little psychedelic in a way.
Yeah.
It kind of takes you to a little new world, really intricate, a lot of stuff going on, and it just kind of sucks you in there. And so a lot of their videos have, cool visuals of like skulls or animals kind of morphing into each other and using like symmetry, and they're kind of going in together, but then kind of coming back out. And for me, that's super psychedelic.
Yeah.
Or at least reminds me of psychedelic.
Yeah.
Ideas and stuff. And I think it goes really well with their music. It's a super cool visual.
Yeah.
And then they kind of mix that in with them, like kind of just chilling and looking cool, playing their parts along to the music. And I think it's cool. It works really well. I think their visuals are on point. It's pretty cinematic, which I like in videos. And yeah, I think they do a good job. I think they have a good time making the videos too. Like I was, based on what I was hearing from some interviews and stuff.
Nice. That's
so
cool.
yeah, I would definitely go on, check out their videos online, because they're pretty good at coming up with cool ideas.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of one of the things that they kind of got their start. One of their videos went kind of viral. Their song Impassion from the EP Inspire, which is like I think 5-song EP that came out in 2013 or 14.
That's the first ever release kind of thing?
Yeah, they might have had like a single or so before that.
Yeah.
Because they were getting, I think that's the first thing they released. It's the first thing on Spotify, at least. Inspire 2013, 5 songs. And I think they made a cool video of a playthrough of that and put it on YouTube, and it kind of went viral.
I saw that written playthrough. What does that mean in terms of...
I was wondering, because I didn't look at this actual video.
Yeah.
So I was wondering that.
Yeah.
You know, failure on my research, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Playthrough. I don't know if it was a live.
Yeah.
One of them playing live, or if it was an actual music video.
Okay.
To be determined.
Seems like a gaming terminology, a playthrough, right, or something
Like a game stream. Like, hey,
game stream.
watch me play League of Legends for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to stream it.
Which is actually something that one of the members does. I don't know if that game in
really?
particular, but he has a YouTube channel where he streams his gaming stuff. But he's maybe on Twitch as well. But should we talk a little bit about the members of the band?
Yeah.
Currently,
Totally. They went through a couple changes.
Yeah.
I think there's two kind of main members have been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Specifically, throw out the name Tim Henson.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of the backbone and the heart of the band, and he's kind of led the way, led the charge.
Yeah.
Through time and space.
Yeah.
As the band got started.
Yeah, he's obviously guitar, and then Scott LePage is also on guitar. I think both of those guys, they're the longest members. I think they started out playing together
in high school.
High school, yeah, when they were like 15, I think.
So I mean, kids.
Yeah, and they said they were just into shredding. That's what they wanted to do. They were into like metal music, and they just wanted to shred the whole time. And
yeah.
They'd both learn separately all these like complex guitar riffs and patterns, and then they'll show each other how to play them, kind of thing. And they were sort of sharing their knowledge and learning and getting their chops up together at the same time.
But I mean, we could back up a little bit. That's not where they learned their instruments.
Okay, yeah.
I think as far as I learned, Tim Henson was a violin player.
Oh, really?
And I think his mom, or his parents, or at least his mom, kind of, you know, do these violin lessons, kind of forced him into it, or, you know, heavily persuaded at least.
Yeah, because he said his brother's a pianist as well, and he'd always have this sheet music lying around the house and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, so you can see if you listen to this music, it's pretty technical.
Yeah.
And, you know, very virtuous.
Yeah.
And, you know, skillful.
It's classical in a way, right? The intricacies of the guitar parts and everything like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the early stuff, even some YouTube videos, which again, I didn't look through all of their videos, but I think it was a lot of kind of, you know, maybe that's what a playthrough is, playing some other music, a cover kind of type video.
Yeah.
And I think those were kind of successful on YouTube.
Yeah.
But so he was, learning how to, you know, read music and learn the violin when he was like 10 years old.
Got it.
And then I think he was kind of getting sick of that. He didn't really like it. He wasn't having a good time. And so he wanted to change the guitars, and I don't know exactly the time, the events through time in order, but at some point his dad went into his room or his back office or something and broke out a guitar and was like, here, try this one. And at that point he didn't even know, at 10 years old, he didn't know that his dad played guitar at all. And apparently he shreds...
Giving it up or something, his dad?
Yeah, it was kind of some, I don't know, that's my past, it's my secret, I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently he was pretty good.
Wow.
And he kind of showed him the ropes, how to hold the guitar, how to, you know, what the strings are, just the basic fundamentals of what the instrument is about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, violin is somewhat similar, another stringed instrument to a guitar, so he had, you know, a little bit of background about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I think he kind of fell in love with it.
At 10, was he 10 when he...
I think he was 10 when he got his, you know, started messing with guitar.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Or, you know, something like that. But if anybody has some better information, hit us up.
Hit us up.
We're trying to learn some more about these guys.
Absolutely.
It's a, super sick group of people. So I guess he was, super young, super talented.
Yeah.
And a lot of the interviews, he's got this attitude, like, I know I wanted to be the best guitarist. I think when he was young, he wanted to be like the best, you know, I sound like a broken record. He wanted to be the best guitarist, and eventually they wanted to be like the biggest metal band. And I think they still got this attitude.
Yeah.
We talk about their attitude in a couple minutes or something, but
yeah.
they're pretty pumped about it, and they're kind of just, they don't care about what anybody else thinks, and they're just kind of going straight for it.
Yeah. So Tim Henson and Scott LePage, and then they've had a couple of other. It seems like another bass player and another drummer at certain points, but right now. Since 2012, Clay Gober, Gober.
Yeah, he was the original. I think they met in like 2016.
Okay, he's the bass guitarist. It says he was. So there's two Clays in the band. Clay, I can't pronounce his last name. Ashleman is on the drummer. He joined in 2016, and then Clay Gober joined in 2012 on bass.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think I misspoke. I think when they were 16, not 2016, they met that first drummer.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
When they were in high school.
Yeah.
If I'm getting my
Yeah.
times and events the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, and Clay, I don't really know their personal history, but in one interview he was saying that he didn't realize he was going to end up in a band and be touring. I think at the point when he joined in 2016, he said he was working like at some corporate day job kind of thing.
Right.
And he managed to meet these guys and get involved in the band, and then end up going on tour with some of like his biggest inspirations that he mentioned. Like,
right,
I think they were playing support for some band or something that was.
I think his favorite band was Coheed and Cambria.
Right. Yeah. Which I haven't heard of either. So
You haven't heard of them?
No.
I couldn't think of a single lick of a song, but I definitely know the name.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean,
Big kind of similar thing, like metal or like instrumental.
Your guess is as good as mine, Jay. But I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he was well into them, and they sort of. I think if it's this band he was talking about, it was like he said that like, the rest of the band members like said, "Oh, we're gonna have a band meeting. We want to talk about something." And he was like, "Oh shit, am I gonna get fired or something like that?" And it was like,
just say it. You're gonna leave me in suspense like this.
Yeah. And it was like, "No, we're going on tour with this band." And he was like, "No, this is a joke, right?" It's like, yeah.
I would sound like a joke. I mean, but in reality, that was a dream come true.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cool thing for a young musician to get to a point where you can go on tour with a band that you grew up like super about.
I mean, that'd be insane. Yeah, that'd be like me playing support for like Chili Peppers or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what?
I mean, insane. Like dream state.
Yeah.
I mean, what a high that would be to feel that kind of energy.
Yeah.
So these guys are having a good time. They're shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
And so in high school, I think they just started messing around. I think they started playing some classical music, doing kind of classical covers and playthroughs, quote unquote. Somebody let us know what that word means.
Yeah.
And so they, gaining some acclaim on YouTube and stuff. And I think they kind of wanted to be like an internet, entity because they saw the value of marketability and viewership on there, and they knew they could kind of create a following through there.
Yeah, it was interesting because having not known who this band is and just going straight to their Spotify first, and then sort of finding out about their YouTube presence kind of made me think a little bit about because they're like heavy on YouTube. Like Tim Henson, like I said, has his own channel where he's like giving tours of his home studio in LA, showing his setup. I think he's done breakdowns of songs like with screen sharing, like he uses Ableton and that, and he was like showing you how he made beats and wrote the songs kind of thing. One interesting thing he said as well about writing, he said if anyone's interested in learning about producing, he thinks that people should start by trying to recreate songs that they like from scratch by themselves. He mentioned this song Breakfast by Jaden Smith is like one that he recreated himself from scratch.
Nice.
As he was learning how to produce. So the thing I was getting to about thinking about that is it's interesting to me because a lot of artists now, that are just starting out or whatever, maybe they have that sort of point of view of using YouTube and marketing as they're trying to sort of do it in a traditional big label way, right? By not really having much of a presence, like maybe on Instagram, but not a YouTube channel usually.
Kind of go the more mysterious rock star route.
Yeah, and it started to make me think, it's like, well, maybe, it's not a bad thing to, and it depends on your wheelhouse of knowledge and creativity and how much you want to be on camera on YouTube and that. I'm still getting used to it as well. But yeah, like, I guess, like, is there a mysteriousness about not doing that? Or is it, is it fine? Should we recommend, or should it be a thing that more artists are out there? Like uploading a video a week, showing their process, talking to the people. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like,
I think that's one of the, the music industry is kind of been polarized, and some people would say it's, the best time to be a musician. It's the easiest to get your stuff out there. And then the other hand, other people would say that it's, the music industry is crumbling and artists aren't getting paid enough. Yeah. And, it's just this weird trickle down syndrome where labels and, corporation executives are making the decisions, and then you eventually get pennies on the dollar for all this hard work that you put in.
Yeah.
So kind of depends on your perspective how you want to look at it, but the internet is certainly a very interesting catalyst for our society, and we're still figuring it out. But one of the best things you can do as an artist is put your stuff online, obviously, these days. And people are always hunting for new content. Like, oh, what am I supposed to post?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's taking pictures of me.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? So you have to find these different things to post.
Yeah.
And like these guys are doing really well, hopping on this, internet train of what do I post? Covers. Yeah. Here's my gear, rundown. Here's what I use.
Yeah.
Here's how I played this song.
Yeah.
And there's creating content out of your content.
Yeah. I think it fits probably their brand as a band or whatever, Polyphia, to be doing that, because they seem to be of that generation of other people that are already doing it, like Twitch game streamers.
Right. I mean,
stuff like that.
The band got started in 2010.
Yeah,
so not that long ago. Yeah. And these guys are pretty young. I think Tim Henson is 27 years old this year.
Yeah.
So they're basically growing up with this technology.
Yeah. And utilizing it in every step of the way.
For their benefit.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back for 1 second because I think he was playing, Tim Henson specifically, he was playing violin since he was 3. And so, just to reiterate that history of that's where this guy's coming from. He's been a musician all his life. Yeah. And he's been working really hard. And he hated it until he started trying guitar. Yeah. So I think he had his first band in 6th grade, called himself Timmy Hendrix.
Little Timmy Hendrix.
Yeah.
Did he have a MySpace?
I think they were on MySpace, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything else about it, but I think he did mention MySpace at one point. Yeah. So he started playing, some Black Sabbath, Iron Man. Yeah. And then
Iron Maiden or Iron Man?
The song Iron Man.
Iron Man, okay.
But probably he was into some Iron Maiden. They were probably around as well. Yeah. But yeah, he was in the Screamo. I think there's a band called Job for a Cowboy. But some deathcore, death metal. Yeah. I think he's another person who's influenced by, I think, is a woman rapper or artist. Rico Nasty. Do you recognize that name?
Not really. No.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I think they started Polyphia. Yeah. Is the way I want to say it, is in high school in the 11th grade in 2011 or 10. I saw elsewhere. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so they were in high school. They were starting their music. He's on his journey, trying to create stuff. And then I guess his parents wanted him to go to college, so he went to the University of North Texas. And I can't remember what he was studying. Yeah. Did you see anything about that college experience for Tim?
I did not. No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think he was going to University of North Texas. Yeah. And then basically he dropped out and didn't tell his parents.
Okay.
So, classic rock star move.
Is this before stuff started happening with Polyphia? Or
I don't know. It's hard to get all these things lined up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to research, Jay. I'm not a computer man.
I'm a computer man. Well, because it's so Dallas, Texas, that's kind of their home base, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
And I do know that they were obviously playing a lot of shows once they started to write music and get the band together, kind of thing. And just really kind of being a hands-on approach to getting people to their shows, that they'd literally drive to people's homes and give them tickets or try to sell them tickets.
Yeah. Kind of thing. So they were really putting in the work. I think they were doing like pay-to-play shows. Yeah,
and that was one thing they said in one interview as well. The difference between them when they started and them now is like they used to pay to be in the band, and now they get paid to be in the band, if that makes sense. Like, they obviously had to put in their own investment, their own time and their money, and now they've got a fan base and some traction, kind of thing, where they can actually do this for a living, which is great, and go on tour and spend their time crafting their albums and recording it and stuff like that.
Totally.
But yeah, obviously just in the early days, just really starting out, grinding it away, doing those shows.
Yeah, coming up with, starting to learn how to write music that they wanted to write.
Yeah.
One of the other things they did is, hopping on this internet train again. They made a lot of money on Indiegogo, and they started a campaign. And I think that was for their first album, their first LP.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I think that's what it was for.
Nice.
unless it was for their first EP or something. But you know, the point is they're using the internet again in a positive way to influence the success of their band.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a success.
It's the new model, right? Getting that sort of interest from putting stuff out for free for a while and then doing like a campaign.
Yeah. So they did a good job of creating value for their potential audience and for people in general, for the music industry. You know, giving is receiving, Jay. This is what I'm learning.
It is, yeah. The more you put out into the world, the more you get it back.
Boom, baby, I love it. Yes, that's right.
Karma. I'm a believer in karma.
Yeah,
as a thing, as a concept.
Totally.
Yeah. So
very zen of you.
You know, I'm trying.
So maybe we should play a little ditty.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Another one. You want to play this one? It was one of my brother's recommendations. Gabe, hit him up on Instagram. I think it's G-Dog Quigs.
G-Dog Quigs.
Look but don't touch. And this one has a vocal feature from Lewis Grant, who I'm unfamiliar with, but he sounds pretty good.
Nice. Let's go spin.
Cool.
You could be anything, anywhere, but you still have something to miss. 'Cause some say, look but don't touch. So make sure that you've seen it, and that you've seen it enough. 'Cause some say, this is it. You could be anything, anywhere, but you still have something to miss. Some say, don't touch. Make sure that you've seen it, and that you've seen it enough.
Look, but don't touch.
Don't touch, Jay.
Don't touch it.
No touchy. So pretty cool. That's a pretty dynamic track.
Yeah, I do know the story behind that track. Apparently, they wrote and recorded that entire track in 3 weeks. they said it started off from a riff and a beat that Tim put together, and he sent it to Scott, and Scott did some stuff onto it, and then he sent it to Clay, the drummer, and then he replayed all the parts live, inspired by the original beats that Tim had done. And then Clay stayed up all night and spent like 15 hours recording all of his bass parts. And then that same day, once he finished it, I think they went off and they recorded the music video for it. And so basically they recorded the video to a demo version of the song, and then they subsequently finished it off and did the final mix and everything like that for the video. Yeah, and all done in 3 weeks, because I think they were supposed to go on the Look But Don't Touch tour, and they were like, well, this is the lead song, we need to get it done and out there, and the music video done. So
did that one come out as a single?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember either. I don't even know. Dumb question.
Let
Forget
me
it.
see. I do have a list of their singles in front of me here. Yes, it came out in 2019 as a single. Look But Don't Touch.
Cool. But that's a good point that you made. I think that's basically how their music production is organized, as far as starting from scratch to getting a final piece of music out to the world. It all? I think most of their stuff starts with Tim Henson. Like I said, he's kind of like the heart and rock of the band.
Seems like
the trailblazer.
Yeah.
And so it's I think it's him and Scott LePage. They're kind of the tightest.
Yeah.
And I think he starts with the production. I think Tim said so he listens to a lot of rap.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively is what I was seeing. Which is interesting little side note there.
Well, yeah. So it sounds like obviously they were into a lot of metal, and then he said they both side. They specifically said radio music. They listened to more radio music, meaning like pop and rap, electronic music as well, but mostly rap. They said, yeah, and they said that's what's been inspiring their sound more than anything else. Like, in fact, they're trying not to listen to other bands and artists within their same genre. They're looking outside of their genre for inspiration,
right?
And prefer to sort of take inspiration from that as opposed to,
which is cool. That's a dynamic kind of place to be coming from. Like we're creating progressive, some type of rock, some type of progressive rock with guitars and no vocals. Yeah, all 90% of their stuff is no vocals. It's mostly instrumental. I don't know if we said that. Yeah, because a couple of the songs we played, maybe both those had vocals, I guess. Yeah,
which are the rarities. Like they have some guest appearances.
Yeah,
but which was the thing actually. Like I think there was a label called Sumerian or something that they really looked up to and wanted to get signed to, and I think someone that was signed to them saw them play live, sent their music to the label, and Tim said they got an email back and it said there was no punctuation. The only thing the email said is, "Where's the vocals?" And they were like, they were kind of a bit deflated from that. And from that experience, they actually held auditions and they like went around trying to find vocalists.
It's kind of a rude email.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, but they ended up not finding anyone that really worked. And then they were just like, "Fuck it, we're just going to be an inspirational, instrumental,
and an
group.
Inspiration to us all."
There you go, yeah. So, and they've totally embraced that. And I think the interesting thing that Tim said about from him listening to rap is he's trying to bring that into his guitar playing. So, like, he said when they started to write songs, they realized they couldn't just shred all the time. They instead sort of took a step back and tried to simplify what they were doing and make it a little bit more melodic. Yeah. And so that's the thing that like Tim tries to do is he listens to a lot of the flow that rappers have, and he tries to sort of bring that into his guitar playing.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah. So
that's a cool observation, Jay.
Yeah, I thought it's interesting. It's funny because I don't really hear it, but if I'm looking for it, maybe I can sort of get it. Like, but it's not obvious. I think if you listen to it, it's not obvious.
Yeah, you're not listening to the guitar. It doesn't sound like a rapper flowing.
No, but that's the story behind
that's
how
the inspiration.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. Yeah. Getting inspiration from something that's not the same, but using that vibe, that energy. Yeah. So that's a super cool thing. One of the things I thought was interesting because I was looking up this stuff and people would use the word wanking.
Wanking.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Wanking on the guitar.
And I guess it's referring to just like wild, just soloing,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
soloing out of control,
Yeah.
nonstop or something. I guess that's what it's referring to.
Yeah. Well, you know, in
Somebody
England,
correct me.
wanking means masturbation, right?
I've heard it in that context as well.
And I've heard, I've heard some people talk about guitar music as just like wanking. Like they're just like,
Yeah, and I guess that's what is being referenced.
Yeah.
I just came across this, I mean, just today, so
yeah.
I know I don't have a big, rich back history of the Latin roots of the word
The
or
Latin
anything.
roots of wanking, yeah.
Yeah, but interesting to come across that. I guess, you know, people maybe in these genres know a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, some people have accused these guys of just doing like, maybe there's too many solos, kind of too many, like the guitar's just wanking around. Like there's not enough groove. There's not enough danceability.
I mean, I guess it's like some people could say it's self-indulgent, right? Like,
Yeah.
here's what I can do kind of thing on the guitar.
And I think they are. I mean, and he's saying no, and he's not giving a crap about what people are thinking. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to be the best metal guitarist. You know,
Yeah.
he seems to respect the old way that rock stars were. Like, just I don't care. I'll mess up the green room. I'll break the guitars on stage.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't give a care about anything.
Well, it is a kind of a lost art, right? Like the art of like that sort of guitar playing and soloing, which was like really big at a certain point in time in music. Like
Yeah.
probably like, you know, think about Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And
Yeah, exactly.
any of those big sort of like, you know, metal bands from like the 70s and stuff like that, all the way probably up through the 90s, you know, with like Metallica and stuff like that. But well, even Metallica started in the 70s, I think. But yeah, so, but it is a lost art because it's, you know, in the modern day of music, you don't really hear people doing this type of stuff. And these guys are young; they're like 20-something doing it. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, yeah,
So it's an interesting perspective.
yeah,
Because in some interviews, you know, you can find Tim quoting that he thinks guitar music should die. You know, and at the same time as they're releasing full-blown progressive rock focused on guitar with no vocals.
Well, it will be interesting to see where they go because I feel like from how I've heard them talk about stuff, and I think like the producing side of it is fairly new for them. Like starting, you know, with Ableton on the computer, like putting beats together and stuff like that.
Right.
I feel like it's you know, they're still sort of getting more into that. Like they even mentioned one album, I think, or EP. What was the EP that came out? Was it in the Most Hated?
The Most
EP.
Hated, 2017.
Yeah. They said like now that they listen to that, they wish they could go back and redo it. They hear so many things on there that they wanted to change, and I think the thing they're talking about is like production quality. Like Tim was like, yeah, I want to like bring up the bass more and have like the bass clipping like it kind of has in trap music.
Right.
And I think kind of how they have it going in their most latest release as well, very bass heavy.
Which is cool, and it is kind of heavily, you know, hip hoppy trap influence, and you know, they are utilizing, you know, trappy, you know, hi-hats and stuff like that, but mixed in with these acoustic drums.
Yeah.
Also doing super cool rhythmic, technical stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, trap is pretty hot right now.
Yeah,
I dig it. I think I love the sound of guitars with trap beats. And I think that they got a pretty contemporary kind of modern thing going.
Yeah.
And that's why that's my favorite album is the last one they came out with. But I mean, you know, we don't have to go through all of these albums. The first two albums are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, well, let me back up. 2014 they came out with their first LP, Muse.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. There's a bunch of features.
Yeah.
I think this one has features from I can't say for sure, but at least somewhere in their discography, they're featuring guitars from Chon. Have you heard Chon?
No, I haven't. No.
Another kind of progressive rock, you can say math rock band, which is also super cool. I don't know if that guy was on this album. I can't think of his name off the top, but 2014 was Muse. Yeah. Pretty sick.
They've done some collaborations with a guy called Rick Graham as well. There was a single called Envision that came out in 2013, and I've heard Scott say that Rick Graham was someone that they like tried to imitate a little bit, or like be heavily inspired by, and then he managed to end up on the track. I think he's on a track on the latest album as well, like just a real intricate guitarist. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, again, they're making it to this level. They've gotten a level of acclaim and success and notoriety that they're getting to work with the people they're inspired by, and that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
I think these guys still got a long way to go. I think they're still learning what they're into, and they're learning who they are. You know, they're pretty young.
Which is interesting. Comes back to that concept of not procrastinating and actually just releasing stuff.
Right.
Because I feel like they're a group that could be like going through this whole world of finding their own talents and inspirations and doing this whole thing before actually releasing anything, kind of thing. But they're just putting out stuff. I mean, 3 years after forming. Well,
and it's high
they
quality.
They must have been like 19 or something when they put out their first stuff. Yeah.
Could still be in high school. We don't even know.
Yeah.
But it's high quality stuff, and it's intricate, and it's progressive, and it's cool.
Yeah.
2016 they came out with Renaissance. It's a hard word for us, man. We'll get that one next time.
Yeah.
But that's 12 tracks. Good stuff on there.
Yeah.
And I think through their progression, they have these 3 LPs. And then I'll just real quick, 2018, New Levels, New Devils is my favorite.
Yeah.
So that's their discography. And I think through these 3 records, if you started from 1, 2, 3, you can kind of hear their progression of, maybe there was a little bit more wankability in their first stuff and it's, more guitar solo stuff. But I think in New Levels, New Devils, it's a little bit more focused on melody, kind of like you were saying before.
Yeah.
And it's a little more dynamic.
Yeah. And their production sort of thing is coming more out of the sound, I think. Yeah,
they're totally embracing where they've come from with their guitar style and stuff, but with the kind of contemporary trappy beats and production styles. Yeah,
because I heard some stuff that just Tim was just making on his computer, and it's sounding trappy and like bass music, like kind of very electronic sort of thing.
Totally.
Not as much guitar in it. Like he seems to be starting to mess around more with putting more effects on the guitar and making it maybe not sound like a guitar kind of thing, like a piano almost sort of thing, like with some of those effects and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of their music is like feels like it's anime soundtrack kind of thing, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean Tim's Asian. Yeah, I think his mom's Asian.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
He's American, I guess you'd say, but his mom is Asian or something, or Asian heritage. We got to be PC.
He does have very striking features.
Yeah.
He's got these very high cheekbones, and he's got these like neck tattoos now and stuff like
that. He's got a look going on for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's Polyphia.
Yeah.
That's as much as I know about them, and I'm still discovering. It's a cool band, and I think they have a long way to go.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to keep my eye on them.
Yeah. They're still touring. I think they did like just Scott and Tim went on a mini tour of Asia. I think they're in Singapore kind of thing, and I think that was only like a couple of years ago. And
not as Polyphia.
As Polyphia, but they didn't. I think they didn't have the budget to take the whole band out there. So They just kind of went out there and played a few shows, and Tim was saying, we have to let our label management know that maybe like playing Asia would be a thing, because I feel like their music would go down really well over there, actually, like that kind of...
Especially being instrumental, there's not that much of a difference. I'm less likely to listen to something if it's a different language, even though I do try to do that, and I try not to let that get in my way.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about initial instinct. If you just heard something that's a different language, a lot of people tend to kind of be... Oh, well, I can't understand it. I'm not going to listen to that. So,
well, especially like in Japan as well, because I know like some people that are really into anime, and there are like some really famous groups out of Japan and Tokyo and that do soundtracks and theme tunes for animes, and then they get really big by themselves. And like I know like that I haven't seen them come to Seattle, but there was this one group that went to Vancouver, and they're really big in Vancouver as well. And I feel like this type of music is sort of in
I totally see that. Yeah, I think that's great.
But yeah,
a blending of cultures, you could say.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see where they go. I feel like they've got a lot more things to do.
I think their best stuff is still ahead of them.
I think so, yeah. And I think they're working on a new album. They seem to release one every 2 years, and I saw recently Tim showed a clip not so long ago, like a couple of weeks ago, of them in the studio. So I feel like 2021 is probably a year where they might drop something new.
Yeah.
New album.
It's a good time to do it. Not a lot going on in the social scene.
Yeah. They're probably waiting. I think actually they have shows booked for 2022 though. I saw that.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, all around the States. Like, yeah, in like summer of 2022. They're like looking ahead.
Okay.
COVID will be done by then. Like,
I hope so.
I hope so too. Yeah.
That's a good year and a half into the future. So I mean, vaccines coming out and stuff. I mean, this is not a COVID podcast, so we're done talking about it.
But yeah, I mean, that would be nice to see.
Totally, I would be happy to see it. My brother Gabe saw him. I think he saw them open up for the band Issues. Another kind of cool
in Seattle. Or?
Yeah, in Seattle.
Yeah.
Issues is a kind of progressive rock
cool.
band, maybe in the same kind of genre.
Yeah.
And he said they were great.
Yeah.
He said it was a great show. Yeah. I think he said the bassist is kind of the front man at their shows.
Yeah, they did mention he's always trying to find a new tone for his bass at every show. Because apparently like every room has like weird acoustics and stuff like that. So every time they go in there for sound check, they're always trying to like tweak things to get the right bass sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So tell them not to play at the Showbox Sodo because they'll have a rough time.
That's not gonna. I think they played El Corazon.
Oh, that's a
little bit small
venue, yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
So maybe that's not. Yeah. I would imagine not as much of a difference.
Sounds pretty good in there
for bass.
It's really small room, but yeah, good PA system.
Yeah, I played there once. I was playing guitar, and I don't know. I wasn't on bass, but I think it sounded okay. I don't know.
We played in the small room. I think there's like a larger stage in there, I think, where I've seen people. I don't know where they would have played, but I'm guessing it would have been the bigger stage, maybe.
I'm sure it was the bigger one, yeah.
But which has good sound in there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from I did see one friend play in there, and he had his laptop set up, and he spent the first half of his set trying to actually make the sound come through, which was awful.
That's a little rough.
It was a bit horrible to watch a person on stage trying to struggle with the sound quality. And
that's not fun for anybody.
Not fun for anyone, no. And actually, I don't know if El Corazon's, and this is a very local Seattle thing, people, but I hear they might be changing, like a different venue is going to go into that space or something. It's not going to be El Corazon anymore.
Okay, but it'll remain a music venue?
It will remain a music venue. But yeah, during COVID and all that, I think it's changing hands to something else. I'm not sure what. I did read something about it somewhere. But
I also heard, I'm not sure if it's a rumor, but Showbox at the Market might have a new location.
Oh, really? Well, they have been wanting to tear that building down for ages. Developers and that. I actually went to a thing at a hearing, I don't know what you call it, like where all the members of the public went up.
You call it like a town hall?
Yeah, I went to a town hall, and you had like people from Pearl Jam. They're not Pearl Jam themselves, but people they'd sent to like talk on their behalf.
Pearl Jam's people
went there and read statements from like Pearl Jam members and stuff like
that.
Everyone was there. Everyone that went there was like for keeping it open. The only people that were against it were the lawyers for the property developers that are trying to tear it down.
Just housing, yeah, okay.
So, I think it kind of got saved, but the future is still, I think, uncertain,
a little
especially
murky
now. Yeah. But,
a murky future for the Showbox, but we all love it. Like everyone wants it to stay pretty much.
Yeah, and even if you're not from Seattle, I think this is a universal conversation about music venues in general and where they're going, where they're heading.
Yeah, and what they provide a lot of value to the community. Yeah. And I think that's what's weird about the music industry is, people aren't being supported as much. Artists aren't being supported as much, and things like venues that people really enjoy and love in the community aren't being supported as much as they should.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like places like Ticketmaster just taking up all these crazy fees and high prices, but none of it's going, to help the venue or the artist.
Yeah.
So a conversation for another episode, but there it is.
But yeah, that's the main income, I think, especially for a band, to bring it back to Polyphia. They have a heavy live touring presence. They do that a lot, I think. And obviously they're a band that lends themselves to you going and seeing them live because of their musicianship and everything like that.
Totally.
Yeah, because streaming ain't gonna put bread on the table, as they say.
Not these days, Jay. Not these days. That's all I got on these guys. You got anything else?
No, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're sick. I would check out New Levels, New Devils 2018. I think they just dropped a single called Inferno. Mm-hmm. That's their latest release.
Yeah.
Just a single, one song called Inferno 2019.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get one of their albums, New Levels, New Devils is my go-to. Check out their YouTube videos because they have some super cool visuals and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to play us out on a song? You got one loaded up, or you want me to throw you one?
Throw me one, or I did have the other one, So Strange, from the most recent album. I think we're just only playing their songs that have vocal features in the moment.
Yeah.
But maybe if you want to play another one.
Well, is Goose. Throw Goose on there. That's another, my brother, G-Dog Quigs.
All right.
On Insta's
All right, cool.
pics. So, yeah, if anybody has any more information or you guys have seen them live, you got something to say, throw us that email, Jay. Hit us up.
Roots to Grooves at signalradio.com. That's SIGNL radio.com.
Boom. Roots to Grooves out. This is Jesse Quigley.
This is Jay Purcell. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
You think it's water, playboy? Ain't no water, playboy, but the popo don't know that, do. The popo think it's water, baby, but this motherfucking Grey Goose, baby.
Roots to Grooves is a production of Signl Radio. For more music and independent culture, visit signalradio.com. That's signl radio.com.